Are you launching a new product or service this fall? Well, I have a launch Trello board that is going to keep you organized throughout the entire process. Let me show you. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kat, biz coach and integrator for creatives. Today, we are going behind the scenes in my launch template Trello board. I really want to help you guys see how easy it is to streamline and organize all of the to-dos associated with a launch. Now, I built this board when you are thinking about doing a digital product launch. So that would be a template, a guide, a course, a membership, some sort of digital product. If you're stepping into like passive revenue, evergreen, things like that. You can tweak some of these things in here if you're launching a new service, but just so you know, this is more geared for those of y'all who are stepping into or launching a digital product. Now, Trello is free. I love talking about Trello. We talk about it a lot here on the channel. If you're not familiar with Trello or you have questions, I do have a Trello 101 video, so we are going to make sure that that is linked below for you. But let's dig into this template. Now, this template is available in my shop. I'll link that for you as well. And I hope that this is helpful in kind of giving you some more details about how this can be helpful when you are organizing your launch. Now, the very first thing that I like to have here on the launch is this brain dump list. So this brain dump is kind of like what when I call a new ideas list, a parking lot list. It's just like a way to go to like park all of those things, just like put them there. So this brain dump would be a great space. Maybe this is your first launch, and so you've got lots of different ideas and you're trying to decide, do you do a webinar? Do you do a challenge? Do you open cart 5 days? Do you open cart 10 days? Like, what are you doing? And you've got some, other creatives that you're following, and you're kind of like linking various ideas, additional resources, things like that. You can put all of that here in this brain dump list just to get it out of your head and someplace safe. If this is a product that you've launched before, maybe another thing to put on this brain dump list is like things you want to change from the last time you launched to this new launch period, just to give yourself the flexibility and the space to kind of put that there. The next list is all about the launch itself. So share more about the product and the offer. Who is it for? Why do they need it? So important when you are writing your sales copy, y'all. Why do they need it? Overall launch timeline, the price of the product, and then your launch success standard. All of these things are incredibly important for you as you are streamlining the details of your launch. It's also helpful because if you are bringing in team members, whether that's your VA, whether you have a team with multiple people, whoever it is, having one spot where they can go to and clearly see like, oh yeah, this is how much we're charging for a payment plan. This is how much the upsell is. This is the timeline. This is when the webinar is. This is when cart closes, like all of those things. You just want to have them somewhere so they're not having to scrounge around and jump to various Google Docs or sales pages to try to find that data. So keep it all right here. When I say launch success standard, I do this for every launch, rinse and repeat. I always have a success standard. My success standard is a measuring stick. So it's good, better, best. This allows you to be able to measure, how did it go? Did you hit the good goal? Did you hit the best goal? If you only hit the good goal, why? If you didn't hit the good goal, why? If you hit better than best, why? Like, it allows you to evaluate all of the things that are happening. So have that success standard there so that you remember what your success standard was, and your whole team can see what is the success standard for this launch. You also might want to have a section of who's doing what, and you can kind of brainstorm your team breakdown. Again, if you are bringing in a team to help mobilize all of this. And then things you need help with is, do you need to hire out for sales copy? Do you need to hire out a web designer for the sales page? Are you working with a videographer? Like, who do you need to bring on to strengthen your team for the launch? Have a section there. Now we're going to get into the actual breakdown of the launch. Now, in my launch blueprint, which is a free worksheet, I'm going to link below for you guys. I talk about these 4 phases of the launch. I talk about why they're so important, what needs to be included in each of those phases. And now this Trello board allows you to kind of take all of that information and put it into play in like a project management format. So lead in to-dos, I've got a little breakdown up here. It's that 4 to 6 week time period leading into launch. And this is where you're going to want to make a list of what needs to happen in that time period. If you're still in product creation, what do you need there? If you've got like launch to-dos, you're going to put that there. Anything that needs to happen in that like 4 to 6 weeks leading up. Then you've got the pre-launch, which is 1 week away from go day. Go day is that opening day, that very first either cart open or webinar, whenever people can kind of really be ramped up. So you're going to want to have a list here of what needs to happen for that. Then you get into launch to-dos. The launch is here. Yay, first of all. And also, there's still some things that need to happen. Just because it's live doesn't mean you can sit back and relax necessarily. So there might be some things that you need to do and have on your plate and remember to do right when the launch takes place. And then post-launch. A lot of times we forget about the post-launch phase. I talk about this in that launch blueprint workbook too, that in post-launch, we tend to just be like, okay, launch is over. Great. Let me like move on to the next one. When in reality, we still have customers that just recently purchased from us. So having at least a 10-day consumption sequence, if not more, depending on what your product is, doing a survey for your purchasers, a couple weeks after purchase, thinking about upselling, downselling, other things you can do in the customer journey is really important in this post-launch to do. So, like I said, this template board will hopefully help you project manage all of the various areas of your launch if you have a launch happening this fall or if you have a launch happening in Q1. My team with our integration agency, we do a ton of launches. So I organize a lot of launch boards, and this one is always my template. I take this and then I build off of this depending on what the launch needs, what the product is, how many team members are working on it, if it's a first time launch or, a third time launch, all of that stuff. But this is a really good, like the bones of it, and then you can build off of it. Let me show you guys a couple of other launch boards that my team and I are actually in the process of working on right now. So, for example, this is a course that we're starting to build out. So this board looks a little bit different. We kind of have a lot more in product creation. So I've got some product creation here. I've got a pre-launch and I've got a launch, and then we'll be building out more things in the post-launch. Here's another board with a launch coming. Again, kind of important dates. We're doing a webinar. So we've got webinar details here. And then we actually just call it marketing instead of launch. Just the way that this particular team, the verbiage that we use in here, but you can see priming, sales, email, Facebook ads, Instagram and Facebook, and then just some examples there for like course updates that we want to do. So as you can see, like I'm constantly going back to something like this, like a template board like this. This is my very own like launch template where I tweaked the one that you all just saw with the pink background. And again, it all starts here, and then you build from that depending on what your project needs. I'm going to make sure all of the resources that I mentioned in this video are linked below. I've got that launch blueprint for you. I do have a Ultimate Trello template bundle that includes the launch planning template in there. So I'm going to link that stuff for you. But if you have questions about how to utilize Trello when you're mobilizing all of the details for your launch, just comment below. Let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. Happy to do some customized videos specifically on the questions that you guys have. So don't hesitate to reach out. And if you are using one of my templates when you are planning for your launch, tag me on Instagram. I want to see. I love launch planning and seeing you guys take what I love to do and do it in your own way is so fun for me. So make sure that you tag me on Instagram too if you are utilizing this in your business this fall. Thanks, guys.